I got a new car, so if it looks different.
Yeah, we in a big body V, digga.
It's Ron and Bree, Ron and Bree. Niggas wanna envy me, envy me. Niggas know it's Ron and Bree, Ron and Bree. Niggas wanna envy me, envy me. She a light-skinned John, and she fire. They get no hotter.
What's good, RB Back with this video, and we also want to say thank you for 600 subscribers, and we apologize for not uploading consistently. We be so tired after having a newborn baby. She just cry.
She's fussier than we thought she was gonna be. So
Right.
it's kind of hard, but we trying our best.
We be so tired, we can't record, we can't edit, we just be so tired.
And then
just
when
wanna sleep.
we get her to go to sleep and we start to record, she starts up again. So it's like,
Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on post notification bell so you get a post notification shout out. We forgot to shout out the people last video, so it's gonna be in this video.
so I guess this will be 2 shout outs in this video, because this video is supposed to be a different shout out. But being so the last video we didn't shout the other person out, it'll be 2 shout outs at the end of the video. Don't forget to follow us on our Instagram at Ron and Bree 2 eyes. We have a TikTok, which I'll also like to say thank you guys for getting us
To 8,000 followers within, I don't know how many days, like 3 days.
almost at 9,000 soon. So thank you guys for that. Follow that at Ron and Bree 2 eyes as well. And
Let's get into the video.
today we're gonna do a story time about how my birth went, because a lot of people kept asking me, like, you know, all these questions like, did it hurt, what did you go through, blah blah blah. So I'm gonna explain how my birth went. One day me and him was in Queens visiting his grandma, and she has these steps in her building, and I was doing lunges on them, and I guess that's what did it, because I guess she dropped more, because the day before I had a doctor's appointment and I made them check my cervix and they told me I was 3 centimeters, and my doctor did it wrong though, but she did help a little. She put 3 fingers. In the hospital that we had our daughter at, they said that no doctor is supposed to, like, you know, ever put 3 fingers up there. It's just supposed to be 2.
She thought you was an alien.
Shut the hell up.
They're supposed to use one finger to like fill it, and then another finger to measure it like that. Wider.
Yes, but my doctor did 3 fingers. And before that, I was spotting lightly, like pinkish and brownish kind of stuff, which means that you're, I don't know if you would say false labor, active labor, but you're in some type of labor. So I was getting that, and then when she did that, I kept bleeding more and more, and my mucus plug kept coming out more and more. So after the lunges and stuff, I guess she dropped more. That same day when we was on our way, where was we going? Home, right?
No, he's gonna pick up your stuff, your papers from your doctors.
Oh yeah, because you know my doctor was telling me anytime now you should be going into labor. So we went to go pick up the rest of my medical records for the hospital, because I wasn't affiliated with them at all. They needed a new start, like all my records to know, like, you know, what I'm allergic to, what I'm not, what I could do, what I can't do, you know, stuff like that. On our way there, I started feeling these bad contractions. Mind you, the night before and stuff, I was getting, like, he was at work, so I was keeping him updated on how I was feeling. I was getting like minor contractions. It was bearable. It was hurting, but it was bearable. But I thought they was just Braxton Hicks. And I was 4 days late into my due date already. The next day, the contractions got really, really stronger, and they was, you know, coming back to back 5 minutes apart. He asked me, like, you know, do you wanna just go to the hospital, or you wanna still pick up your things? So I kept saying, no, I'm just gonna pick up my thing, because I don't think this is the time. Because my body played mad tricks on me my whole pregnancy, especially towards the ending. So I didn't really think much of it, but I started to feel it in my behind, my back, and my pelvic area. And we kept calling his mom. She was like, oh, this is it. And I was like crying, like, Once I was crying, I was like, yeah, we have to go to the hospital. I think this is it. We already had our bags packed and everything for the baby and ourselves. So we just headed straight there. And fast forward, we got to the hospital. We had to do that whole thing because I was new, like I said. They checked me. I was 5 centimeters, right? 5 centimeters. So we was like, oh, we're staying. So even though I wasn't from the hospital and they may not have all my medical records, they couldn't, you know, send me home because I was already in active labor. Any information they needed, they would have just had to call my doctor. They got us into the labor room where I was gonna give birth. And it was so nice. I'm pretty sure y'all seen it in the birth vlog. They made me feel very comfortable. They was very supportive and all of that. So I couldn't handle the contractions at all. So I asked if I could get an epidural. They had to test me to see if I was eligible to get the epidural.
Because your heart.
Yeah. I told them that I had a heart problem like not too long ago, and I had heart surgery and stuff like that. So they had to figure out what surgery it was and if I'm able to take it. So they say yeah. Instead of making him stand out of the room, they just made him stand in the bathroom that we had in our room at the time. So I took it like a G. I'm not gonna lie. Even the doctor said it, and they was like, you know, for your age, you're one of the best patients we ever had, and I feel like giving you an award right now. And she was like, she thought I was gonna be crying and doing this and doing that and doing the most, but I didn't. During the epidural, the way it felt for me, it was like I felt the pressure that, you know, everybody was telling me I would feel. It didn't hurt though. Like everybody was like, oh, it's this long needle and this and that. You want to go through that? And I was like it's not gonna be nothing compared to the birth. So it was pressure, coolness, and a little burning sensation for like a few seconds. But like you can handle it compared to what, you know, you would go through. One of the nurses, while they was putting that in my back, one of the other nurses that was gonna be doing my birth, she was like rubbing my shoulders, was like, you got this, and talking me through, just like trying to distract me from it. I mean, I didn't really need her to do that because like I said, it didn't hurt, but I still appreciate the support that she was giving me. Getting into when I got the epidural, so I did not feel none of my contractions. He was telling me like, oh, your contractions look huge, like these spikes are big, and I wasn't feeling nothing. I was laughing and stuff like that. Everything from my waist down felt numb. I couldn't feel nothing, and it felt amazing. We had his family and my family on the phone, which I also had their support, and they just kept telling me, you got this, get her out, we waiting to see her, get her into the world. They checked me again, and I got to 8 centimeters. They was like, okay, so in a few we're gonna come back and we'll check you again to see if you at least dilated down to 9 or 10 centimeters to where you're able to start pushing. An hour later, I think I was 9. Yeah, it was 9 centimeters. And it was like, okay, you're taking quite some time to get to 10. And it was like, her head is right there, but it's not to where we want it to be, to where you have to start pushing. We're gonna come back and check you again. And they gave me this pregnancy ball to where it opens your legs at least this much.
I could have did that. Open your legs this much.
Do you want me to be in pain even more?
Yep.
But
take it like a G.
I did take it like a G. But so it opens your legs about this much, or I don't know if it's wider, but they make you lay on your side. It helps to open up your cervix a little more so the baby's head could go down to where it's supposed to be. I was on that ball for quite some time. They kept turning me back and forth to my sides because they was like, maybe, you know, she's just stuck there. They was like, she's too comfortable. They was trying to make her uncomfortable to want to come out. I think I got to 9.5 centimeters or something like that, close to 10. So I was like, you know what, I'm ready to push. So I kept thinking, you know, pushing will help bring her down. And they was like, okay, let's do some practice pushes and hopefully that'll help. So they made me do a few practice pushes that brought her head down a little more, so I got to 10 centimeters. What took the longest was I was pushing for 4 hours because it's this bone. The baby is supposed to go under this bone. I think it's called the pelvic bone, or I don't know what it's called, but it's something that they're supposed to break to get underneath so they could come out. And she wasn't breaking through. Like, I think she was just sleeping. Like, she wasn't really moving or nothing. And I kept getting scared. What if something's wrong? Because when I was coming out of my mom, I had the cord wrapped around me, and I just thought, God forbid that was happening to her, because why is she not moving? Because I'm obviously bothering her and her head's getting squished now, so why is she still sleeping? They kept telling me it's okay, sometimes this happens, especially for new moms that's having a first time kid. They're supposed to break through that bone, and then after that, you know, maybe your second kid, it'll be easier. So that's what they kept telling me. He was helping me a lot at first. He was a big support. So I had his support, the doctors, the nurses, even nurses that wasn't doing my labor. Like, there was this woman, she brought us a little gift, an extra gift for the baby. She brought us like a little hat, and what else did she brought? Yeah, and something else, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah, and she was the main one that really got me to push out that baby, because I was really this close to giving up. I'm not gonna lie. 4 hours of pushing, you would get tired. I was even falling asleep in and out of my own labor. But she was a big G, and I really support her for that. Like, LIJ is the best hospital ever, so that's a shout out to them. I will go there to have all my kids. I don't care if I'm across the world and I need to make it back for our second child, whatever, I'm having them there. Sorry. So anyways, let's get to him. How about you tell them what you did?
I was helping you.
No. You tell him what you did.
I was helping you.
No.
I passed out in the chair.
No, don't say you passed out. Say what you was doing from the first to the end.
I was helping her lift her arms, her legs, her head. And then I just sat down in the chair and I went like this.
This boy fell asleep for 2 hours. He was helping me within an hour or two into me pushing, yeah. And then for the rest of the 2 hours of me pushing, I just look over and I'm like, I'm crying, mind you, he's not waking up for shit. So I'm thinking like, all right, something's wrong, because usually when I'm crying, he don't like it. So he'd be like right there. So I'm like, okay, this boy hears me hysterically crying and he's still not waking up. So I'm like, can you check on him, please? Because, like, what's wrong with him, blah, blah. And they was like, oh, you don't need to worry about him. You need to be worried about stuff. I said, I'm sorry. It's going to be some bleeps in this, but I'm going to say exactly what I said. I said, what do you mean I'm not supposed to worry about him? I need my baby father to come home with me. Hello? Like,
well,
so.
I passed out. I didn't even fall asleep. I passed out in the chair.
Nah.
But I sat down. I felt the chair. I'm like,
exactly, you fell asleep.
that ain't my fault. It ain't my fault.
He was freaking he was holding my head and my leg, and he was helping me push. So I guess because he could see that all the blood and stuff that's coming out, I guess he just kept sitting down in the chair. He was like making these noises like through the whole time. He just slept through the whole time. So more nurses came in to comfort me, to help me push, because like I said, I kept giving up and he fell asleep. So one of the nurses was staring at him like, I'm gonna show y'all. They were staring at him like, and I was looking at her like, yo, this is embarrassing. My boyfriend that so-called wanted her to come.
I don't care.
So it fell asleep, nigga.
Boy, mind you, it's freaking,
5 o'clock
it was
at
2:30, yeah, 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Who cares? We got a lot of sleep. For her coming that we? Yes.
I mean you.
No. We both got a lot of sleep. What are you talking about?
I barely sleep.
Whenever I'm sleeping, he's sleeping. So don't even let him lie. Now he doesn't really get sleep. But before, when I was pregnant, we got a lot of sleep. So stop lying. But I was like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. Why is she looking at him like that? Mad nurses and doctors kept coming in like, they was like, come on, push. You got this. It was like 8 of them around me. So I felt like I was on the spot. I was like, yo, I gotta give it the best push. She was like, you keep pushing hard, and the last push you give up. You gotta give me 3 good pushes. So I was like, lady, how about you sit in my position and you can push? Like, what you mean? I'm giving my all. You got me. You counted to 10 mad slow. 1, 2. Like, girl, 3. You better go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like, come on. Like, what you mean? So, okay, that epidural, I don't know if it started to wear off, but when she got, like, they every time her head was coming out more and more, they kept making me feel it. I felt her hair.
Like some hairy cat cat throw up coming out.
Yeah, it was like, she has a head full of hair, so it was like soaked with all the fluids on her, so it felt weird and sticky, and I don't know. But I was like, oh my god. So every time it made me feel like I cried even more, and I think that was what's making me more tired, because pushing for 4 hours, y'all would be tired too. Like, compared to the stories I hear where people be like, oh, I pushed for like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, I'm thinking that's what's gonna happen to me. Okay, 1, 2, 3, let's she out. But she wasn't small. So whoever sees me in real life or like knows me in person, like, y'all see that I'm very tiny and petite. And she was almost 8 pounds, which she takes after her dad. She was almost 8 pounds, so her size was a little too big for me. But they was being supportive on not trying to give me a C-section. They was like, you got this. You're gonna push her out, and it might be hard. They wasn't sugarcoating nothing. Like, they was like, it might hurt you, but once all of that is over, you're gonna realize that it was all worth it. So I was like, okay, I'm not getting a C-section. So I pushed. Part of me regretted it, part of me didn't. But I mean, now, like, it took me a week to heal, so I'm good. Her head wasn't coming out. No, her head wasn't coming out. It was just like the crowning of it that was just there. So every time I kept pushing and I would stop, her head would go back in and come out, back in and come out. So what they had to do was suction her head out.
Her head looked like a long football, Stewie head.
Yeah, if y'all have us on like Instagram, y'all could look at the picture of where he was holding her in the mirror, and y'all will see that her head is very long. No,
it was very long.
Yeah, it was long. But if y'all also...
She got a regular apple head now, like her.
Yeah, because we kept molding it. Shut up. But her head was extremely long, and that hurt as well. And I'm not gonna lie, I was getting very pissed off with one of the nurses. Like, first of all, one of them I did not like, because she kept going in and out. She was the main one that was like pushing her out, pulling her, or whatever. So while she's coming out, she got her fingers spreading my hole even wider. So she's like in there, like going around and just digging like it's nothing. So she was like, push, while her fingers is like poking down. So mind you, you said, I can't push with your finger inside of me.
Yell it out.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell?
Oh yeah, you woke up for that part because she was right there. So her head was like literally almost out. So all I had to do was give a few more pushes and she was out. But her fingers was inside of me. Mind you, everything is spread open. Your behind is spread open, your butthole and all of that. Everything is spreading open. So I'm feeling her press down on, it felt like her hand was like inside, but inside of where the butthole part was. I don't know, but it hurt so bad. So she gonna tell me to push. So I started screaming. I said, I can't push with your damn fingers in me. So she took it out. She was like, okay. I'm gonna take my fingers down. Now push. I was like, okay, like now I could do it. Oh my God. When that girl was coming out, they was suctioning her. So they was like pulling her while I was pushing. That hurt so bad. They was trying everything with me. They even put the bar up to where I had to pull on a string and I had to like push myself up. That wasn't working or nothing. So now he's up at this point because everybody is screaming. It's like 8
Yes, I'm like, boy, shut the up. I'm tired. Yeah, she having a baby, I'm tired.
It was like, come on, you can do it. It's like mad. Just imagine 8 voices mad loud. He jumped up and he starts helping me again. So I'm like, yo, this boy just acts like it's nothing. This nigga done fell asleep, woke back up and just came to me. Here he goes. Dude, shut up. He just came to me like it's nothing. So he sees me crying more and I'm screaming out. So I'm like, ah. So he's like not saying nothing to me. All you hear is him mad loud, like in my ear. So I'm like, ah. Boy, that jug did not feel like me taking no damn shit. So all of y'all who told me that, I really want to just felt like Godzilla or the Hulk came to me, spread my legs open, and just ripped my entire legs, inside, everything. Like, that felt horrible. So she came out, and I just started crying. They put her on me, and
it's like, you did it. You did it.
Yeah, and I was crying. I was really giving up. And one of these nurses was like, she was talking, like she made me stop pushing, and she was like, she literally had a whole talk with me, because she was like, you know, I understand moms, first time moms, you know, go through this, and you can't give up right now. And I really love that. Like, I'm gonna keep saying that. Like, I love the hospital for that. Like, no other hospital would do that. You know, some hospitals, they got the mean ass nurses and shit. Like, I'm not for it. I would have punched one of them in their face if they would have tried it with me, because I was not in the mood at the time. And I think I accidentally almost kicked one of the nurses in her face.
Oh.
Because when you were sleeping, one of the nurses was on the other side, there was another nurse in the one in the middle. The one on my right leg, I almost kicked her in the face by accident, because I was like moving, because she was coming out, and I started to feel the pain. I don't know if he started crying, but he was mad happy, and he went to the other side. He would not let her leave his sight at all. So as soon as she came out, he went all the way around. And mind you, our family was on the phone for like, how long? Like,
He was on the phone since we've been in the hospital.
yeah, like 6-7 hours, I think.
No?
Yeah, it was like
No,
6-7
I looked at it. It
hours.
was freaking like 12 hours.
For real?
Yes.
Oh, well. Yeah, they was on the phone. They even fell asleep until they heard me give that big scream. They said my mom was crying. We had to put them on mute, because they're gonna tell us we couldn't record. That's the only thing we didn't like. They had to put themselves on mute, because they were saying, oh, we
I'm pretty
can't
sure
record.
they didn't do it, because I still heard them.
You did?
Yes.
But they was like, that we couldn't record or nothing like that for safety purposes, which I was like,
That makes no
what?
sense. But okay.
Everybody should be able to want to record their birth. I wanted to see how my daughter came out. He got to see it. I didn't get to see it at all.
You don't want to see that. Plus, when the placenta come out, ooh, that thing was all red and black. I'm like, mind you, when I woke over, it's mad blood on the floor. I'm like,
What hurt a little after is because, you know, everything's all spread out and sagged down there. It's now like sagged out. So they was like putting needles in me to numb around so they could stitch me up. And I didn't feel those. Oh yeah, you're right.
That's why they stitched you up. They cut you open.
Yeah, I teared very badly, and
no, you didn't.
yes, I did.
A little bit.
No, it was bad. I teared badly, and they cut me open too. So whatever. I was very, very swollen down there. So my behind was swollen, and down there was swollen. They was telling me you might have hemorrhoids or get hemorrhoids, because when you push for too long, that's what can happen.
Hemorrhoids is like something like to do with your muscles and shit.
Yeah, but I think I did have it. I'm not sure, but I think that's what they was giving me creams for, because they gave me these ointments and stuff to help me, and the spray and witch hazel and stuff like that. So I think I did have the hemorrhoids, because my butthole was extremely swollen. I couldn't sit.
Too.
Yeah, but that's gonna happen.
One side was swollen. It looked like a lump, a big ass, like you got punched in the cheek. One big cheek, one little cheek.
Shut the hell up. He had to help me use the bathroom and everything. I couldn't bend. I couldn't do nothing. I was really weak. But I would say that I'm a real G. For my first time having a child, like, I started walking literally the next day. He would make me walk too, even when I didn't want to. And, you know, I just kept pushing myself. I even tried to breastfeed in the hospital, but that wasn't working out. My breast was hurting me. They wasn't swollen yet, but they was hurting me. They gave me the pump. Milk wasn't coming out. Like, it was how you say it, stimulated. Like, I was massaging my boobs throughout my pregnancy and stuff, and so would he. I would make him. They was already stimulated and stuff. A lot of times they was like leaking a little. But when it came time I wanted to try and feed her with the breast milk wasn't coming out. And then it started hurting more and more as the days went on. We told y'all in the birth vlog, they lost her damn van in the nursery. We kept sending her to the nursery because we needed sleep, and
I
at
only
the
sent her
time,
twice.
yeah, well, we stood only for 3 days. But
Yeah, but it's twice. We only sent her once. They took her once to like clean her up, wash her and stuff, bring her back, and then we sent her after that because we needed some sleep because I had to drive back home and she kept crying.
Yeah, you're right. She was a really fussy baby when she came out, and I think it was because she didn't like that hard-ass bassinet. And when you just come out, she didn't adapt to the environment or nothing like no baby does. So I guess she couldn't feel me or her dad's scent or like, you know, our skin to skin, and she didn't feel none of that. And I guess she wasn't comfortable, so she was like crying all night. We didn't get no sleep. So
anytime she stopped crying, one of us pick her up.
Yeah, but I couldn't really hold her like that because my uterus was hurting me extremely. Like, it was hurting. So he held her most of the time. I held her a little bit, like, to feed her, to try to lay her more high up on my chest and stuff. So that's the only time she would stop crying. And then they was telling us, you know, you can't sleep with her in the bed with you or nothing like that. So he was like, well, we don't know what you want us to do. Like, our daughter is crying. Y'all want to hear that all day, all night? No. So we know what we're doing. I didn't want to send her to the nursery because of all the stories I done heard and, you know, that abduction stuff. But, you know, Papa was like, look, we need sleep. And
she had like one of these safety bands on her, the yellow band. So if somebody, I don't know if other hospitals do that, but if somebody try to like walk to the elevator with her, it's gonna shut down the elevators, the exits, and everything.
It like it locks up the gate. I think it's
it locks up the whole hospital.
Yeah, it's an alarm that goes off. So
the alarm goes off. Plus, it locks every door in the hospital. Every door, every elevator.
She had that on her. I don't know if that's what they lost or whatever.
No, they lost the other one, the other band. Because the other one was tight on her leg.
Yeah, it has to be because nobody can take that off. Papa was telling me, look, we need sleep. And I know you don't want to send her, but we have to get sleep and I have to drive home. I don't want to be falling asleep on the wheel and then you can't even drive right now because they was telling me I can't drive for 2 weeks. I was staying up, like, I couldn't get no sleep without her in there either. So either way, I was getting no sleep. Because, like when she first came out, I fell asleep instantly right on Papa. I was like intoxicated with so much medication and stuff like that. So I fell asleep instantly on him. I heard her crying like hysterically. So I get up. I was about to go punch that nurse in her face. He was like, relax, relax. She's just getting her shots. Relax, relax. And he had to lay me back down. So I was like, okay, but why is she crying like that? I was getting hostile in there. So
I mean, she's getting her shots, so of course she's gonna cry.
I couldn't even sleep without her in the room anyways because I kept saying, like, as soon as she left, I just said instantly, I miss my daughter. I want her to come back. Like, I'm sorry. He was like, okay, at this time, we're going to call them to get her back. This one morning, we called for her, and they was playing mad games with us. I was like, Papa, I'm about to really go send you to go get our daughter, and whatever you got to do, I don't care if you punching females or not, you just got to do what you got to do because I'm not playing with none of these people in here. They gonna tell us they lost her band and stuff like that, so they have to redo everything. They was like, oh, they bringing her down. Whole hour later, still didn't bring her down. I kept calling. I'm like, when is she coming down? They was like, oh, she's coming right now. So I'm like, y'all said that already. When is she coming down? They was like, oh, they had to redo all her bandages over. So they finally brought her like 2 hours later. Literally 2 hours later, they brought her. Like, I kept saying, how long does it take to reband her? Y'all already have the information and stuff. Just reband her and bring my child down. I asked them as soon as they came in, I said, how she lost her band? They was like, oh, you know, sometimes it slips off. How did it slip off? Y'all kept having her swaddled where she can't move or nothing. So how did it slip off? She didn't slip it off herself. One of y'all had to. It was like, oh, sometimes when the babies do this and that, it slips off. Had Papa's mother on the phone and she was going crazy. She was like, I'll come up to there right now and do this and that. I don't play that shit when it comes to my grandbaby. So she on the phone there hearing her. I'm letting them hear. Usually like if Papa bugs out or something while I'm in front of people, I'll turn him down or something like that. Usually I do that when it's personal shit, but I was letting them hear her. They was hearing our mouth. They finally discharged us.
So you see where I get my anger from.
Yeah, I've been saying you act just like your mother. But his mom is more calm. Your mother is way more calmer than you. You are more hostile. But when his mom don't play, she do not play. Finally told us that we could get discharged. They gave me this cushion to sit on because I couldn't sit on nothing at all. Like, it was hurting me to the point where I kept crying because of the pain. Like, I kept crying, and I got home, and that's when when I got home is when my boobs got humongous. They was like this big, huge, and it was too much weight on me. Like I said, I'm really tiny, so it was too much weight, so it was hurting. And they was like my veins was like, you could see them, like it was like purplish and shit, and looked like you could see the little suctions. And then my areolas was big and stuff, and then the milk would come out and clump up. I was like, yo, I can't. I would try to take a shower and I couldn't even rub them, so I would like rub them in pain, like I was crying. One day he went to work and he had to come home because I couldn't hold her, I couldn't do nothing. Like I was like, yo, I need your help, I can't do this alone. So he was like, all right, I'm just gonna go back to work next week until you're at least feeling a little better. So that's what we did. He was a big help, and so was my mom. That's really all that happened. I got better within a week, and I started being able to sit a little week and a half, because down there was still pretty swollen. My lips went down there went down. It was just my butthole, so I think I did have hemorrhoids. But they gave me the ointments and witch hazel, like I said, to help it. So when I would use that, it was soothing it. But when my stitches started to dissolve or close up more, it started, like when I started using this spray that they gave me, it started to burn. So I don't know if that was when it started being able to go inside because the stitches was dissolving. So I stopped using that after a few days anyway. So, but I would say it was kind of horrible for me, like the birth wise, because they had to like put me through that little tiny surgery thing, like the suction and all that for her, and I felt really bad. And they was like, he was trying everything not to do it because it could give a baby brain damage or something like that. So I was like, yo, why y'all doing this shit then? They was like, oh, you're pushing for too long and we don't want to put you in C-section. So I'm like, shit, I'd rather C-section than that shit. Like, what? Like, what if my baby, God forbid, does turn out to have something wrong with her brain? It's y'all fault then. But if we don't know that now, we can't even tell.
We do know that, nigga. She laughs, she cries, she stares.
Yeah, she's getting so big. She's 8.5 pounds now, almost 9. Her doctor's appointment is next week, so we'll probably do a vlog about that. Her second doctor's appointment. We got to a month mad fast, and she's so, I can't wait for y'all to see her. She is so beautiful. Her features is coming in even more and more. She looks like both of us now. At first I would say she looked like her, all the way like her father. She still does, but she's starting to get a lot of my features. So I can't wait for y'all to see her. But that's how my birth went. I summed it up a little bit, so I probably missed a little part. So expectant moms that do have any questions, y'all could just hit me up still, and I have no problem answering any of y'all questions like I have been doing. But this was just a little, you know, story time to pretty much sum it up for everybody that does keep questioning me. But I summed it up for y'all. So that's how my birth went, and I'm so thankful for our blessing. Even though she cries a lot, she gets on my nerves. That's my baby girl. She really is my best friend. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, she really is my best friend. I don't care if she's a month older or not. She's my best friend. Like, she has so much personality at a young, like, she's so young. Like, she already has a personality. Her laugh brightens up my day. She cries. Even when she cries, she looks so cute because she does like that, and I'd be like, oh. But now I think she's starting not to like me because I hold her and she be crying and crying and crying and crying. Once Papa get her, silence. Like, she just be staring at him and smiling. I'd be like, yo, you're dead ass a traitor because I'm the one who held you for 9 months.
I'm the one who held her for time.
No, shut up. I'm the one who went through the pains, the sleepless nights and all of that. I'm the one who went through that.
No, you ain't. I was. Alright, this is the end of the video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications, get post notification shout out. Oh wait, hold on. I thought I forgot about the post notification. Alright, post notification shout out goes to SIGHS. I don't know how to pronounce that, so I'm just spell it out and put it on the screen. And another post notification shout out goes to Missy James. She said, I love y'all. We love you too. Just keep on watching.
And thank y'all for the support and for telling a friend to tell a friend, y'all. Like,
to tell her uncle, to tell her auntie.
to tell her grandma to tell the toes.
I scared. No.